Oh, nice.
What's up, folks? Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons. So I adjusted the time because Justin was saying he was going to be late, but he wasn't that late, so we compromised. So we're here. Right?
Surprisingly, right? Are you sure this isn't a hologram?
That's it. No,
I was getting ready to do that myself. I was like, he killed my spot. Didn't even let me have my spot.
Man, it's just when you think it's going to be just another boring week, then you get two of your top stars who decide they don't like what they're doing and they're going to walk out.
See, this is when pro wrestling's at its best, though. When the real stuff leaks over into the show and it blends. Because I was thinking about this today, Stu. Like, you grew up where kayfabe was really strong.
Yeah.
But I grew up in an era where it was for a little bit and then it was completely broken. Yeah. So this is more exciting to me because the most exciting time in pro wrestling was the NWO storyline angle and the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels mess that turned out to be the Montreal Screwjob. Like, those were the most exciting periods to me in pro wrestling. So this is just
By the way, the Magic won the NBA draft lottery.
Oh, thank you. I was like, man, I don't know how they're going to do in that draft class, though. But I go back to it. This is when I think it's the most interesting. And obviously, it had a lot of people that don't follow pro wrestling talking about this.
Let's save it for us to start the show. We'll go through all of that. And we'll talk some other stuff. We'll talk some build for Hell in a Cell as well as Double or Nothing. So let's get going and let's see what we got here. All right, here we go.
This is former WWE superstar Al Snow, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling.
It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Now, with Justin Simmons, here's Stu Myrick.
It is Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. See, when you're gone so long, then we just back last week, and I've forgotten your name already.
Man, you had 8 years to get this right. That's it. I walk out. I am wearing my Sasha Banks shirt, by the way.
You are wearing your Sasha Banks shirt, aren't you?
For good reason, obviously.
Aren't you?
Today would be the perfect day to wear it, I felt.
Yeah. I tell you what, as we were starting our stream on YouTube and Twitch, hello to all the YouTube and Twitch folks. If you're listening to this on the Horn, that was last night. Just when you think it's just going to be another pedestrian week of pay-per-view build or premium live event build.
There you go.
Then you got this. So, in case you've been, hiding on a rock or
off of social media all day.
So basically, here is what transpired. So you had Monday Night Raw. They advertised that they're going to do a 6-pack challenge to determine who will challenge Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell. And the 6-pack challenge was going to be Nikki ASH, Doudrop, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Naomi. Sasha Banks Naomi, the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Mm-hmm. Well, about 30-40 minutes after that, then they come back and say, change. It's now going to be Becky Lynch versus Asuka. And winner gets Bianca. And we heard something. Corey Graves said something on Raw to the effect of Sasha and Naomi unprofessionally left. And was like, what? What's going on? So apparently, and this is still, even, just Monday night, this is still kind of developing. So basically, here's the details culled from the different reports from PW Insider, Fightful, Wrestling Observer, Here's what we got. So you had that match. The plan, according to PW Insider, Mike Johnson, PW Insider, those folks, the plan was going to be on Raw that Sasha and Naomi were going to face off during this 6-pack challenge, with Naomi going over and eventually winning the match, so she would challenge Bianca Belair. Then Sasha Banks was going to start an angle that would end up her challenging Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then both Sasha and Naomi would be defeated when those matches came.
Of course.
To build up the world title picture. So apparently Sasha and Naomi did not like this. One report said that their alternative was to have start a program with Doudrop and Nikki ASH. They would end up in a tag match for the tag titles at Hell in a Cell. And in fact, allegedly Sasha Banks went to Vince and they hashed it out. Vince said no, Sasha said no. So basically what they did was they went to John Laurinaitis, took their tag belts, put them on his desk, and left with their luggage in tow, walked out of Raw while it was live on the air on USA Network.
This is when pro wrestling's at its best. I'm telling you.
Let's see.
This is as real as it gets. This is more dramatic than stuff that you would see on 90210 or Melrose Place.
We have been told multiple times this was not a work. This was real. This was, this is legitimate. All that good stuff.
I think the strange thing has been the fact that the WWE essentially just kind of announced this over the air. Like, didn't internalize it at all. Didn't try to make up a kayfabe reason for why the match changed. They just flat out said that this was unprofessional on their part.
Yeah.
And let him go.
In fact, what's really funny is WWE put out a statement.
Yeah, that's
like an official,
like a press release,
like
a real one, not like so been
weird.
taken to a medical facility.
It was one of those things where they're going to put out this statement, and they posted it on WWE.com. This wasn't even on the media, on the corporate website where media press releases. They put out this statement. I'm going to read this statement, the entire thing, word for word. This is how it is printed on WWE.com. Quote, when Sasha Banks and Naomi arrived at the arena this afternoon, they were informed of their participation in the main event of tonight's Monday Night Raw. Again, this was released Monday night during the show. During the broadcast, they walked into WWE Head of Talent Relations John Laurinaitis' office with their suitcases in hand, placed their tag team championship belts on his desk, and walked out. They claimed they were respected enough as tag team champions, and even though they had 8 hours to rehearse and construct their match, they claimed they were uncomfortable in the ring with two of their opponents, even though they had matches with those individuals in the past with no consequence. Monday Night Raw is a scripted live TV show whose characters are expected to perform the requirements of their contract. We regret we were unable to deliver as advertised tonight's main event. End quote. So there's the statement. First of all, regret they couldn't deliver on the main event. Okay, they've changed matches.
This happens all the time.
40, yeah. It's so they regret they couldn't deliver tonight's main event. They do it all the time.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned earlier they couldn't come up for a kayfabe reason. Like both of them got hurt. They didn't make it to the arena. They could have said tons of things.
Now, obviously, this leaves out the whole, that Sasha went to Vince and pitched alternative ideas. Also, the statement about they claimed they were uncomfortable in the ring with two of their opponents. Apparently, no, they simply wanted to have the program with Doudrop and Nikki ASH, and they didn't want to have to put over the world champ. Yeah,
but I understand that too. The thing that I was shocked about was the fact that WWE just kind of got out in front of this and just started trying to write the narrative to this story, and they're good when it comes to kind of rewriting history. So,
well, yeah, that's very true. Let's see. There's a few other things that have come out. Again, this is a kind of the aggregate of different reports from Fightful, PW Insider, Wrestling Observer.
But Stu, that they are in the best position to pull this move off, though.
Right, and we'll get to that here in just a second. I wanted to kind of, so apparently one of the reports, this frustration apparently isn't new. There are insider sources that say Sasha and Naomi feel they have made the most of being put together in a team for WrestleMania and aren't happy the reward for doing so is to have, quote, to wrestle each other and go off to put over other talents, end quote. Fightful also mentioned that their concerns were about the direction of their tag team and the division as a whole. Let's see. Fightful indicates that WWE spin on their wanting to work a program with Nikki and Doudrop rather than be on their wanting to work a program rather than be part of the planned match with Asuka and Becky Lynch. It's so again, we're recording this on Tuesday. In fact, I would say we are right at 8:00 p.m. Central. So this was almost just a shade over 24 hours ago. We have not heard anything since, either from WWE or from Sasha and Naomi. Now you just said something to the effect of, if there's two talents that are in a position where they can do this, that would be Sasha and Naomi.
Oh yeah,
because
easily.
of the crossover appeal. Sasha was in Mandalorian. Looks like she, there's possibility she may have some other acting gigs.
I mean, being Snoop Dogg's cousin doesn't hurt either. But
that doesn't hurt either.
The fact that she does have that Hollywood appeal, a la The Rock, kind of creeping in on a possibility for making a career change. This is a great time for her to pull a move like this. And then with Naomi being married to, is it Jimmy?
I can never remember.
I can never remember. I believe it's Jimmy, though.
Yeah.
And, and them being the top act of SmackDown, or I guess of the whole universe, right?
Yeah,
of all WWE right now.
Right now, I don't. I have forgotten. I want to say they are technically SmackDown talents, but because they're the women's tag champs, they show up on both shows.
Oh, I was talking about the Bloodline.
Oh, Bloodline is SmackDown, yes.
But
I mean, and it's been rumored forever that Naomi would eventually become part of the Bloodline because of her marriage to
but it's like they are not the Clique, but they have Clique power right now because of where they are in the company, being the title holders, and obviously Roman Reigns being the main guy.
Well, I would say it's not only because of the being title holders. I would say because of their stand, as I say, especially Sasha. I mean, let's not forget. There was almost a similar situation. Was it 3 years ago after WrestleMania 35? Sasha and Bayley dropped the tag titles to the Iconics at that time. Now the Inspiration and Impact. Well, actually,
I was going to say, you mean away from wrestling now?
And Sasha and Bayley did not like that, and they took time off, and Sasha took like 5 months off. She went to Japan.
Yeah.
She went to train with Stardom. So the fact that this is happening again, it's Sasha again, this time with a different partner, but still, Here's the thing. I don't know. I'll be honest. I have no idea where to stand, because on the one hand, you always want to stand. You always want to take up for the wrestlers, the athlete. They're the ones that putting their bodies on the line. They should get a say. That type of thing. At the same time, there's been a whole lot worse creative than this, and they couldn't figure out a way to just do this and then build it back up later. It's weird.
Nah.
You know?
I think this is fine. I mean, this is no different than something that like CM Punk did or Stone Cold Steve Austin did, and I think you can argue that obviously nobody's going to have the drawing power of a Stone Cold Steve Austin, but there's going to be a lot of people out there that are. I think there's just as many Sasha Banks fans out there as there are CM Punk fans out there.
Oh, I can. Yeah, it's okay. Little bit of. So when I was in Los Angeles for the Super Bowl,
okay,
that's Saturday, the day before the game.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to the different parties. So Joe Roderick and Ben Boyd and I, we end up at Lee Steinberg's party. So we are walking in. Here comes Sasha Banks. So I said, okay. I said, hey, Sasha, how you doing? Hey, mind if we get a picture? Let's get a picture. Boom. I put it out on Twitter. Oh, my God. That thing blew up. Then some.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, sure.
She has drawing power. She sells merch. People love her.
I have heard some of those that are wrestling media that would put Sasha almost to the level of Roman Reigns right now on the, as far as on the women's side.
But she gets pops.
I mean, maybe it's Ronda Rousey and her.
Yeah.
Now some will say Charlotte, some will say whatever.
I still say Becky Lynch.
She's still.
Oh, an Oscar. Right
apparently, at least to some, Sasha is more over, powerful, whatever.
She's definitely more crossover loved.
Yeah.
Like, she has a wide array of fans. They're not just wrestling fans.
Yeah. So, again, I don't know what's going to look like.
Let me ask you this, Stu. Who is it a worse look for? The wrestlers or WWE?
See, that's the thing. I don't know, because
I think this looks worse on the company, to be honest with you, because this is a company that already has a history of not being able to work with talents in some cases that make them do degrading things, that there is video evidence of this stuff.
Right. I get that. I totally get that. I mean, but it's kind of like what I just said.
And it's the whole thing about being independent contractors too.
Yes, you're right. At the same time, though, it's like I said, WWE's had much worse creative than this. This isn't that bad.
I agree with that sentiment as
well.
So
it's kind of like I don't know. I don't know where to fall on this one, because there's that, but at the same time, yeah, I want to, I'm always wanting to side with the wrestlers. It's their bodies, so on and so forth. So,
and
I'll be interested to see Friday night on SmackDown if we have something like if
they even talk about it,
or they declare the women's tag titles vacant.
Oh, that's a good point. I guess they can go into a tournament, but Vince hates tournaments.
Well, it's not going to happen. I don't think it would happen in time for Hell in a Cell.
Well, see, and they also make a good point where, hey, the division isn't really that strong.
Well, that's the sad truth about this.
And I think that's what they wanted.
Especially the women's tag division.
Yeah, like they wanted to build up those titles.
There might be, all they have are tag teams that they threw together,
They're all pasted.
Yeah.
Cut and paste teams.
Yeah. So
I can see their argument, and that's why I'm like, yeah, I think they're okay for bringing this up and for walking out if no changes are going to happen. I mean, this is just like going to work. I know we all sign contracts sometimes to have a job and stuff, but there are just some days where things build up, and that day is the end of that day. That's it.
I've heard at least one pundit talking about how this may have something to do with contract status for at least one of them. I don't know if it's Sasha or Naomi, or maybe both. Who knows? We'll see. Like I said, it's still developing. It's still, there's still things we got to find out. Like I said, I think the biggest sign will be Friday night. Will we see something to the effect of they vacated the tag titles? We'll see. As a result of all this, like I said, as we said, the main event for Raw, Asuka and Becky Lynch, great match, back and forth. I was a little surprised Asuka getting the win.
I love it though. They're
I think it's great, but it was a little surprising.
I like this deranged Becky character. I really do.
That's true. She is kind of they decided push her even further into the crazy.
It's kind of like what Corbin was doing, but on a whole higher level.
Well, Corbin was
down on his luck.
Yeah, Corbin's just he was just broke. This is Becky is like losing her mind and
yeah, it is.
So
it's just so good. I'm enthralled every time she comes on screen because I'm like, what is she gonna say next? How is she gonna act?
So it will be Asuka facing Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell.
Man, that's gonna be a banger.
It should be a great match. It really should. We also know that the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes,
poster boy.
We're gonna get Cody versus Seth 3,
the trilogy.
And this time it will be inside Hell in a Cell.
You think he blades? Get some juice.
I don't know if Cody blades or not. I know Dustin does. I don't know if Cody does or not.
Well, I mean,
we'll see.
You think he might draw some color?
Let's hope. I
mean, WWE says no.
I don't care how. I don't care which way he goes. As long as this is it. This has got to be it.
But this has been
it's Hell in a Cell. Great. One match. Blow it off. Go to the next chapter.
But this is how it should end. Like, it can't be settled.
That's
so
fine.
It needs to be in a
That's
cell.
That's fine. Hell in a Cell. Blow it off, and then after that, let's go somewhere. Let's go somewhere else.
But don't you like seeing a good product? Like, I mean, they've had the best matches of every show that they have been on together, and I think they're going to try to steal the show that night too.
They will, and it'll be a hell of a match. But I say after this, we got to have something else.
So put your booking hat on. Where does Cody go after this? Say like he's going to probably win this one. You haven't challenged for the world title already because he is the hottest, signee that they've had in quite a while.
I say, have him win Money in the Bank.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Have him work his way, get him Money in the Bank, win Money in the Bank.
I mean, that would really put him over because it's like, okay, so he defeats Seth Rollins and then he can go into Money in the Bank and overcome the obstacles of the ratio.
And no matter what the promo that he voices says. I'm still of the belief the Money in the Bank will just mean title shot anytime in the next year, in the next 12 months, not a main event of WrestleMania.
Okay.
So I say have him win Money in the Bank, have him cash it in.
SummerSlam?
Oh, see, I don't know if I want to do him. I want him to do SummerSlam.
Well, I mean, Roman wants to take time off.
But that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be prior to SummerSlam. It's supposed to be this summer.
Jeez.
So,
but I mean, he should still hold the title, though. I mean, it's not time.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if I want him have title. Drop it at SummerSlam. Maybe drop it at Survivor Series.
Well, because you would.
I don't know.
I mean, you would imagine if they were able to wrangle up this match for WrestleMania Hollywood, which would be 39. If they can get this match between Roman Reigns and The Rock, I would have assumed that even if Reigns was the champion, it would be like a non-title match, or he would just win anyways.
That's the thing. I've heard. Part of me feels they don't need the title for that match.
Yeah, I mean that the fact that is
So Roman could drop the title before then, and still have Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania Los Angeles.
like the true passing of the torch match.
Yeah.
You can still have that without the titles on the line.
Yeah. So.
But it does make him look good if he's the title holder and then does beat The Rock. So
Yeah.
I can see why you would want him holding the straps.
Before we go commercial break, RK Bro, Usos Friday night on SmackDown to unify the tag titles. Will we have a unified tag team champion?
We
Friday
will.
night?
It's probably gonna be the Usos.
I say we won't.
You don't think so?
Nope. They're
DQ?
gonna I think they're gonna find a way, some sort of chicanery, and we'll end up with
No contest.
yeah.
I can see that too.
Yeah, so we'll see. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back from this break, we'll go through AEW Double or Nothing's build, including what people have wanted for a long time, Hookhausen. That's coming up next. Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. All right, 24. Thanks. That's and that's the thing. And I was trying to see if I could get somebody on. Maybe they could tell us like latest or whatever, and everybody's busy.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I really don't know what to think of Sasha and Naomi. I mean, is she going to sit at home again for another 5-6 months? Is Naomi going to sit at home for 5-6 months?
I don't know how
And
she
like I
forced
said,
change.
Do they vacate the titles? Which let's be honest. Sasha and Naomi have probably done the most to make the titles relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But past that, it's been kind of they've changed hands quite a bit. They've been kind of an afterthought, kind of like the mid-card titles. So, yeah, it's a weird one.
No, I still think they need to force change, and that was the only way they were going to get it. And obviously they weren't happy, and it wasn't just because of this one thing. It's stuff that had built up over time. So,
Yeah.
again, they're in the best position in their careers to pull this move. So why not take that opportunity? And even if it doesn't work out, there's obviously other places where they can go, and they're going to make a decent living.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I don't know. It's like I said, it's just a weird whole thing, you know. It's kind of.
I mean, I still don't see it any real different than Stone Cold or CM Punk or anybody else that's ever walked. Ultimate Warrior, Jeff Jarrett, who's held him up for more money before he decided to do the job. Any of those things.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's, again, that's where I'm, part of me says, yeah, stand with the wrestlers. They deserve more and all that good stuff. But, all right, let's do the second one. Remind me to unmute. I got to mute you because don't want to get in trouble with copyright music. We'll be right back, I promise. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. By the way, NXT has announced they are going to start traveling again. They're going to make that Florida loop or the coconut loop.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get back out on the road because you got to get these people reps. You've got a lot of very, very green wrestlers. Green athletes that are trying to be wrestlers. So you got to get them the reps, and that was the way to get them the reps was have all these house shows in Florida So they're going to start, I think it's supposed to be in June, they're going to start traveling again. So good to see NXT at least making the rounds in the Sunshine State. Let's talk for a second about we got AEW Double or Nothing coming up on May 29th. It'll be in Las Vegas. Couple of things that have happened to build up. We already know Hangman Page will defend the AEW World Title against CM Punk there. We now know that Thunder Rosa will defend the AEW Women's World Title against Serena Deeb.
That should be good.
That should be a hell of a match. I think you keep the title on Thunder Rosa, but that's going to be one of those.
I mean, maybe, but I don't think she's been able to have like the strongest reign.
You know,
it's kind of like Big E's WWE Championship
yeah,
run.
She hadn't
like,
defended it that much.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
It's like
weird.
obviously happy for her, but I haven't seen her really get a chance to establish herself as like a true champion.
Yeah. They've even booked the match for the buy-in, the pre-show. If you saw it on Dynamite. So you had Tony Nese versus the in-ring debut of Dan Hausen. Very nice, very evil. Tony Nese wins the match in like 30 seconds. I mean, it was like wham, bam, and that was it.
Mm.
And Mark Sterling gets in there, and he's running his mouth. And Danhausen has been wanting Hook to come out. Well, send Hook. Here he comes. Nese and Sterling leave the ring. Danhausen extends his hand. Hook shakes it. We have Hookhausen. And now at the buy-in, it will be Hook and Danhausen against Smart Mark Sterling and Tony Nese. That's going to be fun.
In what way?
It's just going to be fun to see. I want to see the interactions between Hook and Danhausen. Now Sterling has been, kind of sporting all this, medical gear because he got beat up. Who was it that put him through the table? Oh, it was Wardlow.
Oh, okay,
yeah, because Wardlow powerbombed him through the table. So I think it'll be fun.
Let me ask you, because I know we don't always agree on stuff.
Yes.
What's the appeal of Danhausen?
It's absurdity. It's the absurdity. It's kind of like Orange Cassidy. Now, I know Danhausen can wrestle. I've seen him wrestle.
Yeah, I have too.
But I think it's the comedy. And I love comedy wrestling. I think, we need more of it in our lives. So, let's have it. So, yeah. We're pretty sure we will get MJF versus Wardlow. MJF agreed to the match, signed the contract, but Wardlow has to meet these conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're taping this on Tuesday night, so if you're listening to us on the horn, it has already happened. So first, Wardlow has to take 10 lashes from MJF. Gee, it sounds familiar, doesn't it? Because we saw it with Cody.
Oh, that's right.
And then I assume it'll be next week, or it could be on Rampage. Wardlow has to face Shawn Spears in a cage. I think it's in a cage. Yes, in a cage. And MJF's the special guest referee.
Smart.
And if Wardlow wins, he gets the match with MJF at Double or Nothing. I'm pretty sure they will find a way for him to win so we can have the match at Double or Nothing.
I would think so, unless MJF decides to just walk out.
Because they have been... if
anybody has some power to do so.
If you believe the rumor innuendo, MJF has been has been making it known that he's leaning towards at least having a bidding war when his contract ends in 2024. So,
and as he should.
But this Wardlow program they have built really well.
Yeah, since day one, essentially.
Man, it's going to be so obviously come Double or Nothing when Wardlow finally gets his hands on MJF. It's going to be one of those that everybody will just love. So
no, not me.
Except I know because MJF's your best friend.
It'd be even funnier if MJF won at the end of all this.
I think
established it.
I think that might happen.
It should. I mean, if you're going to establish him as top heel, this is the best way to do it.
I think you should have the finals for the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament, the Owen Cup, on the men's and women's side. Outside of that, and then we also have last week. So you had the Jericho Appreciation Society coming out. They're going to do their appreciation, and then here comes the Blackpool Combat Club, and then here comes Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz. So I think there has been a bit of speculation that this may lead to a blood and guts match.
Oh, I thought you were going to say this means that we're probably going to have trios titles eventually.
That's possible, but this has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
We may have a blood and guts match at Double or Nothing with Jericho Appreciation Society against Blackpool Combat Club, along with Santana Ortiz.
Man, forgive me, but Blood and Guts is their version of War Games?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, their version of War Games. So we'll see if that happens.
It'd be fitting.
Yeah. I don't know
who do you
much else as far as what they have.
Let me ask you: do you know who's in the finals, or is that going to be determined on?
Because the tournament's still going,
right?
So
okay.
yeah,
who do you think is going to get to the final?
That's a good question. Because
I thought Dax was, and then he got eliminated. So
again, tape this on Tuesday. So tomorrow night on Dynamite, you're gonna have Britt Baker taking on quote the Joker.
Yeah.
So surprise entrant.
Mm-hmm.
You also got Samoa Joe on the men's side taking on the Joker.
Okay.
Surprise entrant.
Who do you think that's going to be? Any ideas at all?
I've heard Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae.
Okay, that's a cool one.
Gargano's non-compete's over. Candice LeRae, her contract expired, so there is no non-compete. So I've heard that. I've heard Claudio, formerly known as Cesaro.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
He did copyright the name, right? It's just like
CSRO.
Yeah.
That might also be for his coffee line.
Which I also saw.
Yeah.
That would be a good one too. I mean,
yeah, that'd be a good one too. I don't know. That's the thing. You still got Jeff Hardy. He's taking on Adam Cole, I think. You got who else? Well, Mojo, Joker.
Nice.
You got Tony Storm.
Oh, that's
who
right.
advanced last week after beating Jamie Hayter. So, I mean, we'll see. We're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait a week at least.
At least a week, right?
And we'll do our Double or Nothing preview next week on the show on the Horn. So, I assume we'll have a lot of answers by next week. So we shall see. One other bit of news: New Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW Strong had their Capital Collision event on Saturday in Washington, D.C. There was a fatal four-way match. Hiroshi Tanahashi defending the IWGP United States title against Will Ospreay, Juice Robinson, now of Bullet Club, and Jon Moxley. When the dust settled, Juice Robinson pinning Will Ospreay.
No way. Seriously?
Juice Robinson.
Wow.
Once again. the United States champion.
So this is like the big build for him.
I suppose
It's got to be because like they gave him the gimmick change.
Yeah, he's no longer flamboyant. In fact, he's forgive the phrasing. He's no longer flamboyant. He's rock hard. I'm just gonna leave it. That's I said it.
Hey, at least you said it with a straight face.
I said it with a straight face. But yeah, he's full on this Bullet Club thing. By the way, did you see Monday Night on Raw? So you had AJ Styles and Finn Balor.
Yes.
And they got the win over Los Lotharios. They're in the ring. Liv Morgan comes in. AJ and Finn do the Too Sweet thing.
Mm-hmm.
Liv joins in. So now Liv Morgan's Bullet Club now?
Maybe.
Do we need to pass that? Do we need to call Jay White and have that official? Or
I don't know. When you get it from the OGs of Bullet Club, I think you can bypass Jay White. Honestly.
Well,
he's like
the founder, Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, but like Finn Balor is like David Lee Roth, and like
He's
AJ Styles is basically Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Jay White's Gary Sharon. So yeah, you know. So
That's funny.
You can kind of overrule him.
Jay White is Gary Sharon. Okay, there we go. For all you Van Halen nerds.
I do love Van Halen.
Hey,
I
Van
really
Halen,
do.
They were always one of my favorites.
Yeah, you even know that was my original theme.
It was
Panama.
Yeah, I got to go to Panama.
That's awesome.
That's a whole nother story. So yeah. Yes.
Other thing, real quick about Monday Night Raw. Did you notice the music change for Alexa Bliss?
Alexa Bliss, new music. She's still babyface, which I was fine.
But she had some of the best music, and I hate when they just change it just to change
it. I know it's silly, but
because her original theme is really good.
Yeah, it is. It is. I liked it, but I don't know. It's fine. I'm not too hung up on it, but
man, I
she
am.
still got the win over Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville slapped a referee, so she will hear something about that.
But it does make sense for her character, though.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else for AEW. I think that was it. There hasn't been.
Everything's been pay-per-view or live premium event.
Yeah,
build.
they had they still call them pay-per-view because they're still pay-per-views.
Oh, I know. That's
AEW.
Well, yes, but I'm saying that both companies, both
Right.
big companies, were just building this week.
Yeah, it's we have seen some Ring of Honor presence. Mercedes Martinez successfully defended the Ring of Honor Women's World Title against Trish Adora Monday night on Dark Elevation, and then Wheeler Yuta,
bloodbath,
and Josh Woods on Dark for the Pure title. So, and Wheeler Yuta is about to head to Japan. Actually, he should be there now because he's competing in Best of the Super Juniors. So,
and his stock's been on the rise.
It has.
Like a lot more here. Like he was already hot, but then it just went up a bigger notch once he joined the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah. I did get a T-shirt. I like the BCC thing with blood, and I like that. That's kind of cool. So, Wheeler Yuta. That's like I said, like you said, his stock has definitely risen. As far as he's still the pure champion. Let's see. I'm trying to find. All right, let's just scroll. They did have. Here we go. Best Super Juniors. Okay, really Yuta lost to Robbie Eagles in the B block. So he is already down a match. So, but they just got started. So still got a little while.
But I do like how they're already pushing this crossover before Forbidden Door.
Well, you got Ace Austin, the current Impact X Division champion. He's got a win in the tournament so far. You got TJP with a win so far. Wheeler Yuta's in it. So, yeah.
I am a fan
like I said,
of
they
these
just started, so we still got a ways to go for that. So, we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll let you know what's happening in independent wrestling around the area. You're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. $16.09. Okay. Who is this dude? Is that what's Trick Williams or whatever?
I don't have a clue.
This is the other the other two guys. See him a lot on Level Up or something. Oh, Idris Inofe and Malik Blade.
Huh.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Man, where do they come up with these names?
That's a good question. That is a very good. Okay, now here come Tony D'Angelo's Stacks and 2 Dimes.
Oh my God! Really, Stacks and 2
Stacks
dimes?
and 2 dimes.
Could you imagine that on a WrestleMania marquee? Stacks and 2 dimes. No,
For the tag team titles.
no.
Oh my
why
God!
Would you do that? Like, it reminds me of Snuka's kid, and when they were in that Deuce and Domino.
Oh, Deuce and Domino, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, I get that you wanted to go really gimmick heavy, but the names were just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Stacks and 2 dimes? I mean, that's not going to
Stacks
fly. Is he just
and
going to
2
become
dimes.
2? He's just going to become dimes once he gets to the main roster?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's Stacks and 2 dimes.
Very, very few wrestlers have been able to pull off the one name.
True. And we're seeing it more and more often. So,
but I feel like you always need to have like 2 names to like headline the marquee, unless you're like Bono.
yeah.
But Edge, you know.
Oh man, yeah.
Any other wrestlers you could think of that have one name and one name only that you've seen on like a big marquee, and you're like, yeah, because like
Rock.
Oh, The Rock, but I think he was The Rock, not just Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin was a mouthful. I'm surprised they didn't try to shorten that.
Back then, they didn't care. Championship Sunday in the Premier League coming up.
Oh no! That's no joke. It can't be won or lost on Sunday.
I know. Liverpool won today. They're 1 point behind Man City.
Yeah, because Man City should have just like wrapped it up. Instead, they almost
gotta go.
They got the draw that they needed, but now they have to win.
Yeah.
Or Liverpool can do my team a favor and just lose. That'd be nice. Because they're probably going to win Champions League. So
yeah. So, yeah. All right, let's do this third one. I gotta mute. We'll be right back. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. I got a few cards to tell you about in independent wrestling this week. It is the 3rd Friday of the month, so we will start in Sherman because, after all, Texoma Pro Wrestling is always on the 3rd Friday of the month. Texoma Pro Wrestling presents Decoration Day this Friday at the Elks Lodge in Sherman. Bell time 8 p.m. Charlie Haas, APOC, Fitz, and more. That's Texoma Pro Wrestling this Friday night in Sherman. New Texas Pro Wrestling presents Astro World Saturday at the Houston Premier Arena in Houston. Bell time 7 p.m. Brian Keith, Mysterious Q, Dante Martin, Sky Blue, and more. That's New Texas Pro Wrestling this Saturday in Houston. World Class Pro Wrestling presents live pro wrestling at the NYTEX Sports Complex in North Richland Hills up in the DFW area. Bell time 7 p.m. Moonshine Mantell, Shane Taylor, Fuego del Sol, Maddie Rinkowski, and more. That's World Class Pro Wrestling this Saturday in North Richland Hills. And Dog Pound Championship Wrestling presents No Regrets Saturday at the Woodlawn Gym in San Antonio. Bell time 7 p.m. Rodney Mack, Huss Holding, Misty Marks, Mike Dell, and more. That's Dog Pound Championship Wrestling this Saturday in San Antonio. Let's look at independent wrestling around the area, wherever you may be. Go out and support independent wrestling.
You never know where you'll see the next star.
By the way, I told you last week, Inspire After Dark got an event coming up June 2nd. Guess what? It's going to be a TV taping.
Oh, okay. I was just about to ask. I was like, still happening? Okay,
So,
good to hear.
We'll have details about that soon, but
Really good to hear.
you need to be out at Pinballs here in North Austin for that event. So
Yeah, off of
make sure you check it out.
183, off of Anderson Mill.
Yep.
Or is it before Anderson Mill?
So the show got to be a part of the very first StarCast in Chicago.
Yes.
They took a hiatus, but guess what? StarCast 5, this time coming to Nashville the weekend of SummerSlam.
So you're saying we're going to go back?
No, because they don't do Radio Row anymore. So it's
Are we sure that they're not doing it for StarCast 5?
yeah.
Okay.
Couple of events that they have promoted on July 29th, the Roast of Ric Flair. That could be interesting.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
man.
on July 31st, Jim Crockett Promotions presents Ric Flair's last match.
What?
Apparently, Ric Flair is training
Well,
to wrestle.
I've heard about that, but Jim Crockett Promotions is putting this on?
Yeah, well, I think it's just part of the title. So
Okay.
the rumor right now is it'll be Ric Flair and FTR versus the Rock and Roll Express and maybe Ricky Steamboat.
Yes, that's what I heard, and I wouldn't hate
We'll
to see
see.
it. I would watch it.
Anyway, check that out. I think everything for StarCast will be available on Fight TV, so you can check it out there. One last thing, real quick: XFL. They have signed a broadcast rights deal with Disney for the next 4 years, so XFL will air on ABC, the ESPN networks, as well as FX, starting in 2023.
Man, it sounds like they're really going to try to make this one work.
Yeah. And that'll do it for this week. Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter and Twitch at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch most Tuesday nights. You can also catch us Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central on the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns. We are the Horn, 104.9, 101.9 FM, and AM 1260. Or you can get us on anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the on-air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate and review us while you're there. For Justin, I'm Stu. Thank you so much for giving us part of your time, and we will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go.
So is this the main event spot
Uh,
on NXT?
8:30. It's 20 minutes till 9 p.m. Central.
No.
Probably not.
This is
No,
like
I think the main event's going to be the Tony D'Angelo and Santos Escobar.
Okay.
By the way, did you see I didn't cover it, but apparently Zachary Wentz issued an apology.
Oh, I saw that
You
online
read that?
too.
Interesting.
I skimmed through it. I'm like, it already happened.
I mean, it was he says the picture was taken 2015. It was a joke. He didn't realize how much pain it would cause. I mean, it sounded genuine. It sounded very contrite. He has a booking. He has an independent booking coming up soon. So, I mean, I hope. Look, we got to know him and Dez and Trey when they were wrestling for Wrestle Circus, and I'm still fond of them. I hope that Zach can learn from it. Hopefully this will be a teaching moment for Zach. He will be a better person and he'll have success. So that's the only thing I can really say about him. Meanwhile, Desmond Xavier, or Wes Lee, is wrestling Nathan Frazier, formerly known as Ben Carter.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking, like, oh, did they give this the main event slot? Because I was like, oh,
No.
I know they've been trying to push him as a singles competitor and seeing where that's going to go.
Yeah,
But that's really thrown off his trajectory, so that
It
sucks for him, especially because it was like, oh, they were really strong as a tag team.
Well, and I think they've been wanting to push Frazier.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they brought him over from NXT UK.
I mean, right now, this match has been looking good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when it comes to Zachary Wentz, I mean, eventually the time will blow over.
Right. I mean, yeah.
But if those other allegations are true, you know,
Well,
then
see, and that's the thing.
That's what can really derail his career.
So
you know?
there was some allegations of maybe some sort of abuse towards his former. I don't think they were married. So
no, they were.
Were they?
Yeah, I believe so.
Kimberly and
yeah, because
okay.
I know he said the word
Anyway,
wife.
I'll say ex-wife then. So
Yeah.
anyway, but I have read a few reports that say those might be exaggerated, or I don't know. This isn't one of those where apparently there was fire on her side. So I don't know. I'm not going to speculate because it'd be totally wrong. I just hope they both can lead happy lives, where whichever directions they go.
Wherever the optimists do.
Hey, that's all you can do. Ooh, nice miss. Catcha.
But I'm glad
Into
that
the
this
ropes, leapfrog.
the NXT
Ooh,
brand is going back
double
out on
cross
tour.
body. Yeah, I am too. Well, like I said,
They got some really green wrestlers
They
that
do.
need to be in front of different crowds
they
instead
got
of
to
just
get the reps in.
instead of just the plants that they have at the
Yeah.
What is this called? NXT. It's not like NXT
2.0.
No.
This WWE Performance Center.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Performance Center.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it had like a name.
It's the WWE Performance Center.
Well,
here comes.
Yeah, I remember when it was Full Sail and stuff.
Well, no, the Full Sail University is a different place.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice super kick.
Ooh, right in the face.
Oh, big boot.
He sold that well though.
Yeah, of course he did. He's a pro. Okay, now we get the press slam from Von Wagner. Oh, he's going to send him out. Oh, send him into the... toss him into the announce desk.
Who's that dude?
That's Robert Stone. That's his manager or whatever.
Wow. I mean, that was impressive though.
Yeah.
I mean, Wes, he's not a huge guy, but still the fact that he just, launched a man in the air
yeah,
and threw him, at least 8 feet is
True.
really impressive. He just
Very true.
Like, look at this. I'm like, he just pressed. I mean, dude, seriously,
Boom.
that's good distance on a
It is pretty
human
good
being.
distance, yeah.
Like, there's no push off that Wesley can do.
No, I mean he's
He's just holding himself up and hoping that he gets there. He got him on the
Yeah.
table, thankfully, because if he missed him short, it could have been real bad.
could have been really bad. Yeah. So
But man, that is impressive, strength wise.
So I bet you we'll get Nathan Frazier and Wes Lee
Okay,
teaming
yeah.
up.
But you're right. This is going to be the main event.
Yeah.
It's Tony D'Angelo.
Tony D. Yeah.
It's better than
With
naming.
stacks and 2 dimes.
They just tell him to wait.
Oh my gosh. Santos going out there with the heel del Fantasma.
So everybody has
yeah.
to stay in back, and they're going to go 1-on-1.
1-on-1.
That's cool.
Ew.
Ooh, so what are they going to say about this Friday? They're just going to build this.
It's the unification. Yeah, tag team title unification. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Again, like I mentioned, AEW Double or Nothing preview next week. Until then, have a great week. We will see you next